probably going on 15 years now that I rediscovered, or I guess officially discovered, Becker knife and tool. And the first knife that I purchased was a BK2. I had no idea that it was basically a sharpened manhole cover, but I grew to really like it. But I wanted something a little thinner, a little more dexterous, a little more, I don't know, not as unwieldy. So I bought a BK7. And I thought it was a little on the long side, so I wanted something shorter. What I wound up doing was discovering that there was a knife that had been discontinued. It was called a BK10. Well, I had a BK7 that I could kind of sacrifice and turn into a BK10 Crewman. Here is the finished product prior to the choil. I've done a whole video on that, and it's an old video, and it shows exactly what I did, and I think I even wrote an article about it. It's on my website. But when a Camillus version of the BK10 popped up many years ago, I snagged it. And this is it. Now, it's seen a lot of use, had various micarta handles on it, and I've done some modifications to it, which I will show you in a minute. So this is a Camillus version, Camillus, New York. I'd actually gave myself a unguided tour there one time. Lovely place. Lots of activity. All kinds of knives and brands and, I mean, just everything. It was crazy. But they have, of course, since shut down. And I liked my BK10 so much, I thought, you know what I should do is snag another one if I can find one. And I did. Probably 10 years ago. This has been sitting in the box. So this is BK10. In a real piece of crap for sheath, but regardless, this is a brand new one. Never sharpened, never used, and the old style grivery handles, which are fatter than the new ones. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about that. I just wanted to show you. So after I made that BK7 into a BK10, I called it the Honey Badger, because it really wasn't a BK10. And I had put a larger choil right here. Made a finger choil. It was a fun project. So rather than just describe it to you, I thought I would show you an actual picture. Here it is in the sheath it went in. Shows you the stippling on the handle and the stamp proving in fact that it was a BK7. And you can see that choil. And here's a close-up of just the choil. So after years of using my old one, I decided now that Kabar is making them again, and they have been for a number of years, it just never seems to really catch on like the other knives, but it's worth looking into. So I just got it. They've upgraded the sheath, obviously. Still but it's better. So here is a brand new BK10 compared to an old BK10. Now, one of the mods that I did, well, before I go into the mods, you can see this could be bad. Old, a little thicker grivery, new, a little thinner. Actually a better quality nowadays, better finish on the handle. I swear they're still buying the same handle bolts, but squared butt. Thumb ramps, pretty much unchanged. A couple of things to note that have changed, and I'll get the lighting just right, is the height of this grind. It goes to about mid-blade on the new ones. Considerably higher on the old ones. We'll see. I haven't gone whopping and chopping with the new one, but if it's like the BK7 that I have now that replaced the one that I turned into a 10, the grind height is fine. A big change is the swedge. Here's a couple pictures for you. The top one is the new one. You can see the swedge is a little different than the old Camillus. And then in this picture, the Camillus is on the left with a much fatter swedge, and the one on the right, Kabar, quite thin. And that's about it as far as the differences. You know, of course, like the original Beckers, they were cold stamped. Now they're using, I don't know, what everybody else does. The black coating, the traction coating, and then they just laser that off of there. Trying to show you these mods while videoing was rather difficult. So here's a close-up and another close-up to show you the difference of the finger guard modification. And here's the plunge line difference. The left one is the new version from Kabar, and then I switch over to the right and you can see that the blade's a little cockeyed from Camillus, but still fantastic. I have read where Ethan Becker has said that the steel is virtually the same as what they were using in Camillus, which is the 1095CV, which is Crowvan or Cryvan, I forget, it's been so many years, which I actually like better than just regular 1095. I've found that it's, I don't know, maybe it's their heat treat. I like it. I just like it. But I love regular 1095 in the hands of the right person, like SE Knives or Joey Roman. It's good stuff. Where was I headed? Oh, he said that the heat treat parameters and controls are better at Kabar than they were at Camillus. Okay, I think it's time for me to swap out some handles and walk back there and chop on something and start getting this knife dirty. And then maybe there'll be a subsequent video. Or not. We shall see. It's 10 after 5. That's beer time.